In the late Jurassic period, some 150 million years ago, the North American continent was a world ruled not by bulk alone, but by a precise, terrifying efficiency. Amidst herds of colossal long-necked sauropods and heavily armored herbivores, one predator reigned supreme, the Allosaurus. Unlike the blunt force hunters that would follow, this was a creature defined by the elegant and destructive engineering of its skull. It was not a bone crusher in the blunt, brute force sense, but a predator that utilized an innovative form of cranial weaponry, a killing mechanism far more sophisticated than a simple, powerful bite. The unique architecture of its skull, which we now understand through decades of fossil analysis, reveals a new paradigm for Jurassic carnivores, one that relied on slashing and repeated, targeted attacks rather than the single, crushing bite of a tyrannosaur. Now, let's open the fossil record and resurrect the story of this Jurassic titan. When we analyze the skull of Allosaurus fragilis, we see a surprisingly lightweight but incredibly robust structure. The bone is extensively fenestrated, filled with large openings, which reduced weight without compromising strength. This design is a masterclass in biomechanical efficiency. The skull was not built for a massive, bone-shattering bite force. In fact, its bite was relatively weak compared to later theropods. The true innovation lay in its function as a kind of serrated hatchet. The upper jaw, or maxilla, was flexible, allowing the head to absorb the shock of impact as it was slammed down onto prey. This flexible connection, along with the relatively small, slender teeth, points to a strategy of repeated open-mouth strikes. Instead of clamping down and crushing, the Allosaurus would open its mouth wide and use its entire upper jaw, filled with dozens of recurved, razor-sharp teeth, to tear into its prey's flesh. The skull acted as a powerful blade, slicing through muscle and sinew with each rapid, violent downward motion. This hatchet jaw hypothesis is supported by the unique articulation of the lower jaw, which was hinged in such a way that it could handle a wide gape, but was not built for immense compressive force. Furthermore, extensive research has shown that the Allosaurus's neck muscles were exceptionally strong, anchored to a large flange of bone on the back of the skull. This powerful musculature, coupled with the hatchet-like skull, allowed for a rapid, shearing attack, causing severe trauma and blood loss. The Allosaurus fragilis was a precision instrument of death, not a blunt hammer. It was a strategy perfectly suited for hunting the massive herbivores of its time, creatures far too large and well-armored for a single bite kill. This anatomical design positioned it perfectly within its ecological niche, setting it apart from other contemporary predators and establishing a new model for apex predation in the late Jurassic. The evidence is etched into the bones themselves. The unique predatory strategy of the Allosaurus, defined by its hatchet-like skull and slashing teeth, had profound ripple effects throughout its ecosystem. Its hunting style was a direct response to the immense size and formidable defenses of its prey, particularly the sauropods. These titan, like Apatosaurus and Diplodocus, were far too large and powerful for a single predator to take down with a simple throat bite. The fossil record provides compelling evidence that the Allosaurus developed a cooperative, or at least gregarious, hunting behavior. We often find multiple Allosaurus skeletons near the remains of a single, large sauropod. This suggests that the pack, or a coordinated group, would work together to bring down these giants, using their combined hatchet jaw attacks to inflict multiple, deep wounds that would ultimately lead to blood loss and shock. This wasn't a quick kill, but a strategic, drawn-out affair. This Keystone predator role is not just about the act of the hunt itself, it's about how the Allosaurus shaped the lives of other species. Its presence forced other dinosaurs to evolve new defenses and behaviors. We see this in the heavily armored Stegosaurus, which developed a powerful tail weapon, the Thagomizer, a defensive feature that we know from fossil evidence was used successfully against Allosaurus. The puncture wounds found on some Allosaurus vertebrae precisely match the spikes of a Stegosaurus tail, a clear sign of a high-stakes, violent interaction. The sheer size of the sauropods, which created an evolutionary arms race in itself, was perhaps also a direct response to the relentless threat of packs of Allosaurus. The Allosaurus's unique niche as a flexible, fast, and powerful pack hunter was the primary pressure that drove the evolution of the Jurassic's most iconic forms of defense, from the armor of ornithischians to the immense scale of sauropods. The Allosaurus's role as a mesopredator, an active ecological agent of change, is further highlighted by its place in the food chain. Unlike the more specialized predators that would follow, the Allosaurus was a generalist. Its serrated teeth could tear through the tough hides of sauropods, but its gape and skull strength also suggest it was capable of dismembering smaller prey, from ornithischians to other smaller theropods. This adaptability meant the Allosaurus was not beholden to a single prey source. Its survival was not linked to the fate of a single species. We see a clear contrast between this generalist approach and the more specialized feeding habits of later carnivores. This ecological flexibility allowed Allosaurus to dominate its environment for millions of years. When we reconstruct the food web of the late Jurassic, the Allosaurus is not just a link, it is a central, pivotal node that connected the entire system. Its success was the engine that drove the ebb and flow of life, from the smallest scavengers feasting on its kills to the largest sauropods seeking safety in numbers. The fossil record doesn't just show us bones, it reveals a complex tapestry of cause and effect, with the Allosaurus at its very center. The legacy of the Allosaurus is not confined to the bone beds of the Jurassic. It is a story still being written today as new discoveries shed light on its incredible biology and behavior. For decades, popular culture has mistakenly cast the Allosaurus as a smaller, less powerful version of the Tyrannosaurus rex, a brute force biter. However, when we apply the full weight of modern paleontological analysis to the fossil record, we see that this is a misconception. The Allosaurus was not an evolutionary precursor to the Tyrannosaur's bone-crushing style. It was a highly successful, specialized hunter in its own right, with a killing mechanism that was both innovative and perfectly adapted to its world. Its unique hatchet jaw strategy represents a distinct predatory archetype, a path of evolution that was highly successful for tens of millions of years. The fossil record from places like the Cleveland Lloyd Dinosaur Quarry in Utah, which contains an unprecedented concentration of Allosaurus remains, has provided a treasure trove of data that allows us to reconstruct its life and death in remarkable detail. When we consider the full picture, the lightweight, yet powerful skull, the serrated teeth designed for slicing, the strong neck musculature, and the evidence of group hunting, a clear and compelling portrait emerges. The Allosaurus was the quintessential Jurassic predator, fast, agile, and intelligent enough to employ complex hunting strategies against the largest land animals that have ever existed. It was a testament to the power of adaptation and the principle that there is more than one way to be a dominant carnivore. Its story, etched in stone, tells us that evolution is not a linear progression towards a single perfect design, but a complex web of unique solutions to environmental pressures. We have only just begun to truly appreciate its place in the grand narrative of life on Earth. The legacy of this Jurassic powerhouse serves as a reminder that the stories of the past are never fully told, and with every new discovery, a deeper truth is revealed. In the end, the Allosaurus remains a symbol of an ancient world where the line between predator and prey was a razor-thin edge. It reminds us that every bone, every fossil, is a piece of a magnificent puzzle, connecting a distant past to the living world we inhabit today. We look at its remains not just as the relics of a lost time, but as a profound testament to the intricate and beautiful brutality of nature.